In this video, we are going to see about the second chapter in the biology, that is the biological classification. It is the one of the important topics in the biology. I have explained in a systematic way that will help you theory exam as well as in the NEET as well as in CET. Now, what was the need to classify the living organisms? To study all the living organisms in a systematic way, to know all their features, characters, there was a need to classify the living organisms. Many of the scientists have tried to classify based on the different criteria. After many attempts, Aristotle has classified based on the simple morphological character, that is on the plants and animals. Plants that he has described, that is in the trees, shrubs and herbs, and in animals, red blood animals and that don't have the red blood. In this way, he have classified the living organisms, but there were too many demerits that many of the living organisms did not set in either of these criteria. But this classification was accepted for many days. After that, the C. Linnaeus, that is two kingdom classification, he has classified as a Plantae and Animalia. But what is the demerit of this is that it didn't distinguish between the eukaryotes and prokaryotes, unicellular and multicellular, photosynthetic and non-photosynthetic. In this way, many of the criteria have not been included either in Plantae or Animalia. Therefore, the further classification was about Ernst Haeckel, that is three kingdom classification. First of all, by the Aristotle, second by the C. Linnaeus, that is a two kingdom classification, and the third is the Ernst Haeckel, that is the three kingdom classification. He classified the living organisms in the class Protista, Plantae, Animalia. Now, next to that, it is by the Copeland, that is a four kingdom classification. He classified the living organisms as Monera, Protista, Plantae, Animalia. But the main demerit of the four kingdom classification was that he kept fungi in Plantae. But many of the characters or the features of the fungi and Plantae are not same. Now, the next attempt, that is the five kingdom classification, was made by the R.H. Whittaker in 1969. This year is also very important. It's asked in the exams many times, and by the scientist also name we have to remember that R.H. Whittaker. That is a five kingdom classification. He classified the living organisms in the Monera, Protista, Plantae, Animalia and fungi. He classified them on five different features, that is what characters he include while classifying the living organisms into these five kingdom. What is that? First one is of the cell type, that is eukaryotic or prokaryotic in this way. Body organization, then mode of nutrition, thus it is a photosynthetic, chemosynthetic in this way. Phylogenetic relationships, what is mean by this phylogenetic relationships? That is the evolutionary relationships. He also included that, as well as reproduction is also one of the criteria based on which he classified the living organisms in these five different kingdoms. Now, here we have taken all the processes that have been taken place to classify the living organisms. Now, what we study or what we use, which classification we use is that by the five kingdom classification is more in use, that is done by the R.H. Whittaker. Now, let's see about all the features in a tabular form which is given in NCERT. That is of Monera, Protista, Plantae, Animalia, fungi. we are going to see characteristics of the five kingdom, which is made by the R.H. Whitaker in 1969. I have taken this chart directly from the NCERT because each and every point in this can have a MCQ. Therefore, it is very important to know. We should not by it. By understanding, we can remember all these points. Now, what are the characters that have described, that is cell type, cell wall, nuclear membrane, a body organization and mode of nutrition. About Monera, Protista, fungi, plantae and Animalia. Now they have compared. First of all, cell type in Monera, it is a prokaryotic. That is cell type. The nucleus won't have the particular cell membrane. What is prokaryotic? That nucleus don't have a cell nuclear membrane. Okay. And then eukaryotic. Fungi cell type is eukaryotic, plantae cell type is eukaryotic and Animalia eukaryotic. Only we have to remember in cell type is that Monera is the only kingdom that has a cell type of prokaryotic. All of them are eukaryotic. Cell wall, it is of Monera has non-cellulosic polysaccharide plus amino acids are there, but in Protista present in some. Fungi present with chitin, it is a main character, that is a cell wall with fungi, that it is classified different in a kingdom but it's not included in plantae. And it present but cellulose is present, and in Animalia cell wall is absent, only cell membrane is present. Then nuclear membrane, here it is absent, that what we classify as prokaryotic. Present, all will be eukaryotic, therefore all the cell membrane, nuclear membrane will be present. Now body organization of Monera is cellular, Protista is cellular, fungi is multicellular or loose tissues, plantae tissue or organ. Body organization in Animalia will be tissue, organ system. Okay. Now mode of nutrition in Monera is autotrophic, that may be chemosynthetic and photosynthetic, and heterotrophic, saprophytic or parasitic. Many different forms are there in Monera. Protista mode of nutrition is autotrophic, that is photosynthetic, and heterotrophic it is. In fungi, it is heterotrophic. It is strictly heterotrophic. That is, it may be saprophytic or it may be parasitic. Animalia mode of nutrition of it is heterotrophic. It is a holozoic or saprophytic or etc. Many types are there in this. Now we have to remember this chart. In the next video, I am going to tell about the kingdom Monera in detail.